That's exciting. We're walking through towards the road and stumbled upon this very old cabin. How cool is that? Wow.
I guess it's seen better days.
Yeah, but
Still pretty cool. Look,
yeah,
got a basement.
I know. Okay, you're about to have your history lesson for the day. Hey Jay, what is the Gettysburg Address?
It's when Herbert Hoover made that announcement after Pearl Harbor to like all of the, you know, December 7th.
What year?
1943.
Good job, you remembered.
Yeah.
Good job.
So December 7th, 1943, Naval and Air Forces, that whole thing. That was the Gettysburg Address.
Good job. You're paying attention. I'm glad that my tutelage is working. Just got down to this waterfall and it's pretty hot out, so we're gonna go soak our feet in the water. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. All right, here's the trail. This was Laurel Falls, and the trail runs right along this river. Sorry if it's loud. Pretty cool. Finally have some service as we're like I finally have service. We're just a little less than a mile from Boots Off Hostel, and I was reading some of the comments that you guys left on last video and thought that I would answer a couple of them. I had a comment about Jay's orthotics. He ended up with a pair of orthotics, I think called Power Step. I will double check with him and make sure that that's what they're called. But the person, the podorthist who sold him the orthotics was able to, well, at first he added some like extra support on the bottom out of this sort of like mold. I don't know, it was weird. It's kind of hard to explain. That ended up being too much for his arches, so we went back and he redid them for him, and this time actually just gave him a pair of the same orthotics right off the shelf but without the extra support, and they've been working well, but it definitely kind of took a few visits to tweak things. But I'm pretty sure they're called Power Step. They weren't super expensive. Yeah, they seem to be working out well. The other question I had was my camera setup. I use the Canon G7X Mark II, and usually I just hold it with my hand, and other times I have this mount that I got from a place called B&H Camera. What was the second question? The other question I had is, oh, how do I look so fresh when I'm hiking? I have no idea because I don't feel fresh. And then the last question that I remember seeing is about, I've actually gotten a lot of questions about this headband that I wear. So this is actually, I don't know if you can see, but it says the Semper 5 Fund. I got this a couple of years ago. leading up to the Marine Corps Marathon. I don't know if I've mentioned that on here, but so I've run the Marine Corps Marathon a total of 4 times. And each year that I ran it, I fundraised for an organization called the Semper Fund. And what it is this nonprofit, this really amazing nonprofit that originated out of Southern California near Camp Pendleton by a couple of military spouses, and they just saw a really big need for financial support for veterans coming home and their families. So the money that is raised doesn't just help the veterans themselves, but it helps their families. So, you know, like, I don't know, the cost of flying to treatment, making modifications to homes, adding a wheelchair ramp to a car. They do a ton of work with veterans who have suffered like really catastrophic injuries. And so I fundraise for them every time I run the marathon. And this was just like in one of the things that they gave us right before one of the years I ran it, I forget. But I love it. It's the exact same thing as a Buff. It's not a Buff brand, but it feels exactly the same. And that is where that's from. Actually, I get a lot of questions when people see it. They ask like if I'm in the military, which I say absolutely not. I'm not. But the marathon's awesome. If you're ever looking for a really great first marathon to run, I highly recommend that one. So anyway, you can find out more about the Semper Fi Fund at semper5fund.org. So it's awesome, and I think it's something like 93% of every dollar goes directly towards helping veterans and their families. So they have a really small overhead. Anyways, those are the questions that I saw. Feel free to leave any other questions that you have in the comments. I will do my best to answer them as we hike. But we should be almost at the hostel now. And I think we're getting a shuttle into town for dinner tonight. So my arm's getting tired, so I'm gonna put the camera down now. We are at Boots Off Hostel, and this place is awesome. This is like the little kitchen area in here, and they have a bunk room, and they have showers right there. We tented here last night, and the tent sites are down that way. And Odie is here from Hiker Yearbook. We were hanging with him last night, and it was really not crowded at all, I guess because it's good weather, but since everything around here is closed because of bears, we stayed here and we had a really good time. So it was fun. They have breakfast here in the morning, and one of the guys here, his trail name is Partly Cloudy. He does barbecue, and I think he'll be at trail days. So if you guys are ever coming through here, I definitely recommend it, and it is really, really clean, is what I'll say. This hostel is awesome. These are picnic benches back here. And here comes Jay with the Powerade. Oh, look at that. You fancy.
Yeah.
There's Odie. Say hi, Odie.
Bye.
Bye.